There's no doubt that most people turn their heads when they see a beautiful woman. It's human nature that we like looking at and being surrounded by aesthetically pleasing things. Whether it's in nature, looking at old architecture, or seeing beautiful people on the street. Our brains have evolved over time to detect beautiful things, or just things that we find attractive. That's why most guys fantasize about being on a yacht with 5 hot chicks on their side, because it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye being able to post that on social media and getting validation for it. It's the same thing with girls too. Girls want a strong, tall, and handsome man by her side so that she feels an attraction toward her partner, safe, and maybe she can brag to everyone else about how lucky she is to have someone like that. And again, the same thing can be said for most guys. Most guys want an absolute 10 out of 10 on their arms walking down the street. As a guy, you wouldn't want to walk down the street with a land whale. As much as girls will hype them up saying,
"Oh my god, slay queen. Yes, girl boss. You're beautiful, just the way you are."
we all know they don't actually mean it, and just masking what they really think about them in the comments. Same thing with girls. A girl doesn't want a Nikocado avocado as a partner constantly crying all the time. It's just not appealing. I'm not saying fat people are ugly per se, because there are people out there that prefer a bigger person. What I'm saying is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, aka beauty is whatever you think is beautiful, is what would be a nice ending to that if that was true. I'm sorry, but that statement that we've been told since we were young is complete bullshit now. There are things that most people just objectively find more beautiful than others. For my guys out there, take this for example. Which one would you rather go on a date with? And same thing if you're a girl watching this. Which one would you rather go on a date with? It's just human nature to like more beautiful things. Liking something beautiful more than something ugly is like choosing a freshly baked, beautifully decorated cake over a plain, unappetizing one when given the option. The visual appeal and aesthetic quality of the beautiful cake make it more enticing and enjoyable. Trust me, this is all relevant to what I'm trying to say here. If you're a female in the dating market, pretty much all this logic and reasoning gets thrown out the window. I'm in no way hating on women at all when I say this. I'm simply just talking about how easy they have it in the dating world today versus the average man. If you're a female in today's world, it doesn't matter if you're a 10 out of 10, mid, or even the ugliest person alive. There is still someone out there that's gonna hit you up in DMs. For my small female audience watching this, I have a question for you. How many times has a guy hit you up in your DMs asking to smash or for nudes? I'm sure it's probably happened more than once. Now for my guys watching this, how many times has a girl hit you up for the same reason? Probably never. Everything is skewed now on social media to where tons of people don't have a social circle anymore. Male virginity is on the rise and everyone is becoming less social and people are becoming lonelier than ever. Yet women seem to be getting all of these just fine. They can falsely accuse someone of something they didn't do with little to no evidence to support their claims. And yet the law seems to listen to them because seemingly most of the time the guy will get put in jail for those false claims. And don't even get me started on dating apps. I can guarantee they don't know how bad it is. Now again, I'm not hating on women at all when I say this. It's really not their fault. It's really the companies behind these apps that are to blame for what I'm about to show you. So I did 2 videos where I went on dating apps as both a hot MILF and an absolute Chad. Those were pretty funny as I displayed my impeccable riz. But there was one thing that stuck out to me the most while I was making those videos. I was using Bumble for the experiment, and Bumble has this feature where they don't really tell you like the amount of people that swiped on you past 50, it just says 50 plus. And it took the MILF literally 20 minutes to get to that point. Maybe even less. Meanwhile, the Chad account took about a whole 6 hours to get to that point. The MILF filled out the queue 18 times faster than the Chad did. Now you can argue that maybe the Chad wasn't as attractive as the MILF or the profile wasn't the greatest, but what I didn't mention when I made those videos was that I actually made multiple accounts with various different Chads per se, and that one performed the best. While the MILF, I literally just took the first one that I saw and just ran with it. Now you can argue that I struck gold the first time around, but let me point your attention to this experiment ran by someone else. This person took the worst photos of a female and posted it as their profile on that dating app as an experiment. And you want to know something? Those terrible photos still outperform the Chad from my experiment. Now how in the hell can a decently attractive guy get beaten out by a land whale? I just realized after editing that entire section that sounded really black-pilled. That was not my intention at all, but I already edited the entire thing and I'm not gonna go back and redo it, so we're rolling with it. Well, there's actually a reason for this. Tinder revealed their statistics for 2023 and it said that 3/4 of their users are male. That's 75% male versus 25% females, which equates to 1/3 of their users being male. So for one girl on Tinder, you can guarantee that there's at least 100 other guys fighting to get her attention. And on top of that, unless you're an absolute Chad, there is absolutely no way you're getting a reply back. Because picture it like this, right? If you had 100 girls or guys, whatever you're into, to choose from to go on a date with, wouldn't you go for the most attractive one? And don't at me with I'll choose the one with the best personality. No, you would choose the hottest one and then sort them by personality. And that's essentially what these women have on dating apps. This vast array of options just to choose from. And can you really blame them for picking and choosing? Because I'll be honest and admit that I would do the exact same thing if I was in that situation. But why is it so unfair for guys? Well, dating apps are already an unnatural way of meeting people. Normally for thousands of years, us humans would actually speak face to face. But dating apps remove that entirely, so there is no feelings attached. So you can reject thousands of people and they would never know or be hurt by it. That's already super unnatural for us humans, and with unnatural things occurring, you tend to get unnatural results with it. Girls have no reason to choose a 6 out of 10 guy or an 8 out of 10 when they can just get the 10 out of 10 instead, and that causes more and more guys to get 0 matches, which in turn makes them desperate. So they start swiping on every single person they see just to maybe get a single match, and then they pay for the premium to hopefully get better results. And when that doesn't work, then guys start to think they're ugly, stop trying, lose hope, give up, think they're gonna be lonely forever. It's a rigged game, and that's a pretty unfair game to be playing. And then there's child support. Oh boy. I once heard an interesting story before about child support. I don't know much about child support or the technicalities of it, but from what I hear about it, it is 2 adults take part in some interesting activities, you could say, and then all of a sudden, a child is born! But then the father of this child is like, this and it disappears off the face of the earth. But then the government is like, no, pay up, bud. Women can end up paying child support too, but typically it's always the man that ends up having to pay for it. Again, I don't know much about this law, so if someone can please educate me in the comments, that would be very helpful. And now for my final point, because I think you understand what I'm saying now. Social media influencers. Where do I even begin with this one? OnlyFans, Instagram, Twitch. Oh my lord, it doesn't end! As if the dating app stuff wasn't enough. Oh no. They're coming! All the horny men that failed on Tinder! Now they have all flocked to all these female influencers pages to find the attention they so desperately crave. Some may even call these people simps. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that notices this, but it seems like women have an easier time growing on social media for obvious reasons. I'm not saying this is what all of them do, but I'm noticing a pattern here. It also seems that Twitter, oh my bad, X is having the same thing happen. And then on Twitch, you have all these lonely men literally giving their life savings away just for maybe the slightest crumb of But anyways, I'm not making this video to shit on women. In fact, that's actually far from the truth. The reason I'm making this video is to hopefully start a conversation in the comments. Do you guys agree with what I've said? Do you not? Give me your thoughts on this.
It's but time. Michigan!